कौन अच्छा अभी म्यूट कर लो।
Hello,
अच्छा वीडियो
Vedant, can get my voice?
I can get your voice.
Hello, Vedant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now we are live. We want to give this idea about our slot 2, what kinds of exposure, what kinds of idea it has happened that we need to understand. So you just share your view, your idea, how the exam was, कैसे तरह था, so that lots of people are watching.
So going by slot wise, I would say VRC was slightly on the tougher side because the options were slightly difficult to eliminate as compared to the previous years. And then para jumbers weren't there. So theta questions naturally decreased. And then 3 para completions and 3 para summaries. So that means the probability of errors is very high. And the passages, I believe, were slightly on the lengthier side. So there's that. And for DILR, I believe it was slightly on the easier side because many sets were doable. And there were 2 DI type sets, and I would say that both could be done given if given adequate time. And then QA was slightly algebra heavy. So I would say that if you have prepared your arithmetic and algebra well, then and you don't crumble under pressure, that's the most important thing. Then you are good.
Getting into the arithmetic, getting into the math section in detail. How many questions did you find from arithmetic?
Found around 6 to 8 questions from arithmetic. I don't remember the exact number, but the 6 to 8 questions were there.
Which topics were there from arithmetic?
Time, speed, distance was there. Profit and loss was there, and average mixture allegation and ratio proportion was there, I believe.
And how was the difficulty level of the questions?
Difficulty around 4 were doable, and 2 were on the lengthier side. If given adequate time, they could be done, but I would say it's better to avoid them.
Any question you found challenging or hard?
There was one algebra log question which I found challenging because the answers weren't matching because the option it was a theta question and the condition given in the question was itself eliminated the options I had in mind.
So how many questions came from algebra, roughly?
Algebra, around 8 questions came from algebra. If you include the functions part, around 8 questions. Yes.
And which topics of algebra did you find?
Quadratic equations were there, simultaneous equations were there, and logs was there, and there was one question on series. And,
Infinite series.
Yeah, infinite series.
And geometry?
Geometry, there was one question on coordinate geometry, and there was one question on trapezium.
One question on coordinate, that is basically in center, finding the radius, in radius.
Yeah, in center of the triangle. 3 points again.
In center or in radius?
In radius.
I think in radius, yeah.
In radius.
Yeah.
But it was not coordinate geometry.
It was coordinate geometry, no? 3 vertices are given.
Yeah, we have to find out the 3 vertices of the triangle, yeah. 3 vertices of the triangle were given, we have to find the center.
Actually, we were saying about these arithmetic time speed distance questions was some bit tricky.
Yeah.
So what is this type of the time speed distance? Can you give some kinds of elaboration about it?
Time speed distance, the speed and distance were unknown in this question, and we had to find the time which we have to find the scheduled time in which the person would reach the destination. And the time was there were 2 conditions given. One, that he traveled at 60 kilometers per hour and he was 3.5 hours late, and the other condition was that he traveled 2/3 distance in thrice the speed and remaining distance at 40 kilometers per hour. So if we could find that, if we could eliminate the options, then it was
What
easier.
about geometry? You said one from coordinate geometry. What about other?
There was one from trapezium, and I don't remember the other one. There were 3 questions.
Trapezium and triangle combined, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And what about number system?
Number system. One question came with which we had to find the remainder of
Yeah.
a remainder when divided by 3 to the power 333 of the
Yeah,
number
3 to the
11.
power 333 divided by 7 or 11.
11.
11.
Yeah.
And any question from function, permutation, combination, probability, higher math, I
There was
mean.
there was one question from function, and there was one question for permutation combination.
One question from permutation combination.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And function, one question. This thing. Okay. Any topic or any question that you found unfamiliar, or you are getting or you are reading the question for the first time? You never attempted any such or never done any such questions in class or during your practice. Did you find any such question?
There was one question in which averages of 40 students was given, and the average of 40 students was not given. Average of 40 students was to be found out, and 30 students from the beginning and 30 from the last were given. And then uh, uh, 10, the average of 10 from the beginning and 10 from the end were given. So we had to find around the average of 20 people, I think. The average of the middle 20 people, which isn't included.
So overall, what do you think? The question paper was compared to last year, this year, this question paper is slightly easier or difficult or as it is?
Slightly easier, I would say, because DILR was very easy as compared to last year, and QA was also, if you didn't crumble under pressure,
Talking
then
about the
it
QA
was easy.
section, specifically for QA section compared to last year, what do
Okay,
you think?
QA was easier. QA was easier.
Easier?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any direct question? Did you find any direct question? Or the
Yeah, there
questions
was one
based on
question which
multiple
was
topics?
given in 2021, I believe. This was a same to same question. It was 40% apples and something like that. 50% mangoes. It was a previous year question.
Okay,
So
now
that
let's
was it.
talk about the VARC section.
Vedant, hi, you can hear
Hello,
me.
sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, God, how was it?
Sir, RCs were slightly lengthier, I would say, and VA was also a bit trickier.
How did you do? What do you feel?
So I feel that if I eliminated most of the options, but I was always confused between 2 options at most questions. So it's a bit conflicting if the thought process I used was correct or not.
See about that. Acha, listen. I heard your discussion on the other sections. There's some information that I know from the previous shift. Let me just confirm on that. You just tell me whether that is correct or not. Okay. So were the RC passages lengthier as compared to the CAT last year?
Yes, sir, the RC passages were lengthier as compared to last year.
Very lengthy?
Slightly, I would say around 10% lengthier. Yeah.
10% lengthy. Right. So
Yeah.
50 to 600 words.
Yeah.
So do you remember the RC passages topics? Like
Yes, if you can tell me 1 or 2 topics, the ones that you attempted.
RC topics. There was one on spices and colonialism. It was interrelated. Then there was one on peer reviewing,
Okay.
which was, and the other topics, I don't remember after.
Okay, no matter.
jumbles.
One more thing. The questions were jumbled up, right? So you didn't have all the RCs first and then all the VA questions. So you had one RC,
Yeah,
then questions.
In between mixed.
Yeah, the questions were jumbled up.
Mixed kind of a paper. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
The RC passages were like the RC overall was difficult. So you had difficult passages and difficult questions, correct?
No, passages were easier, but the options were slightly difficult to eliminate.
Options were confusing.
Yeah.
You would say that RCs were harder than last year, right? Last year's CAT.
Yeah, RCs were harder than last year.
Got it. About VA, there were 8 questions, but it was in the 3-3-2 pattern. So you had 3 summaries, 3 para completion, and 2 odd statement, no para jumbles. Is that correct?
Yeah, para jumbles were eliminated.
Right. That means that there were only 2.
Totally slot one car.
Yeah, there were only 2 TETA questions in the first section, huh?
Yeah.
Right. ठीक है. Overall, RCK, what would you say? Your opinions on the difficulty and stuff
Compared to last year.
Compared to last year, I would say it was tougher, yes. Because even though the passages were easier, the options were difficult to eliminate, and the length of the passage means that if your attempt rate goes down.
Right. I see that it was the surprise was didn't have that much of a bite. They dropped one topic, which is kind of a perennial for the last 15-20 years. Parajumpers is always there. But if they dropped a topic, that's okay. That's not that much of a problem, other than just that the reduction of number of TETA questions. But we would say that it's a major step up, right? So any kind of difference that you saw in what we have done in the sessions, in the classes, in the tests, etc., etc. Any core difference other than that?
Other than that, I wouldn't say there was any such difference except the number of questions in DILR. There weren't any difference across the three sections.
Right, right. I don't know if you saw it or not. We had released a reel a few days back where we had made some predictions that it would be, of course, 22 questions was announced beforehand. And there was also a prediction about what kind of they might change that 5-5-5 structure, because obviously if it is 5-5-5-5, then we cannot have 22 questions. So there was a prediction. I don't know if you saw that or not, but that was aligned with that. Right. So other than that, not too many surprises, I guess.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, let's talk about now LRDI section.
Yes. In a DI section, to whatever Vedant you are saying that it was definitely much easier in compared to the last year.
yeah.
And the sets, wherever some DI part, it is also present.
Yeah, I would say two sets were very DI based. Yeah.
Two sets are DI related. That means some kinds of charts it has been given. And otherwise, it is more or less very close. That means questions, whatever you can find it out, questions difficulty level, and LR solving, criticality. If you analyze this one, you are saying that close to close 3 number of sets you have solved, or more than 3. How many?
Yeah, around three more than 3, just 3.5, I would say, because 2 questions from DI was solved from.
Also, you have solved these 2 questions. That means LRDI section difficulty level, it has also came down. As regard to our slot 1 also, similar kinds of thing we have seen. And here in slot 2, you are saying the similar situation in LRDI, it has happened in compared to the last, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vedant, best of luck. Expect
Yeah.
that it will be definitely good enough. We got some kinds of relation. Any other things anyone want to say?
No,
No,
that's
fine. Enjoy your day now. Enjoy the rest of the day. Pressure is over. So now you hang out, have fun. Okay.
all the
Thank you,
best.
sir.
Prepare for that next.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
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 Right. So I think the verdict is that it is close to similar, mostly similar to the first section. Not much difference.
Plot wise, no difference. It is
Plot-wise, no
remaining
difference.
more or less similar kind of thing. VRC is 1 step higher. LRDI and math both are down. As for LRDI concerned, the difficulty level down,
Right.
number of sets, and that everything is remaining slot 1 kind.
Right.
But in compared to 2023, wherever we can find it out that this one is comparatively a easier part, wherever students can attempt more number of questions.
Right.
Like here, if you find it out that it is 3 sets, and some students are saying more than 3 sets. So definitely the difficulty level, it would be much lower in compared to the last year.
Comparatively, as
And
the
math
answering
also,
rate,
Shri will say that
increases.
it would be definitely much easier. Though here it looks like one thing that the arithmetic was more heavier in our slot 1, and
right.
looks like
Now
that
in
here
slot
it
1
is
also,
different.
comparatively 10 questions appeared in
But
slot
here it
1.
is comparatively
Same.
less. Looks like whatever we got this idea.
So overall, arithmetic claimed the lion's share of the questions. There are roughly 10 out of 22 questions. 4-5 questions appeared from algebra. Geometry already decreased, so I think
was trying
hardly
to say one thing that
2.
arithmetic and algebra both are similar. Both are similar in this slot. So we need to check it out also from other. But the information wise, in our slot 1, arithmetic was much higher in compared to algebra, like 10, 11 arithmetic, and algebra was at the level of 4, 5. But what we got this idea recently that arithmetic is lesser, 7, 6, 7, like that, and also algebra in the 6, 7 zone.
Right. There seems to be a difference between the two shifts. In the mix
There
of
is
questions
only
between
one
the-
kind of
Yeah.
this sharing of segment in case of math. It may be different.
Right.
It looks
The mix of questions between
right.
arithmetic, algebra, geometry, that might be slightly different. If you both agree with me, I see a bit of a trend this year to kind of roll back, which was something that I was not expecting, to roll back to the previous year's stats. I'm not talking about 23.
21.
21. It is close to
21.
21.
It is going towards that direction of 21, where questions were straightforward.
Mhm.
Math questions,
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions was definitely tricky, but majority of the question it was more or less straightforward.
Right.
And this has appeared in this case also. Even one of the number system question, remainder question in both slot, that was simple,
Mhm.
simple kinds of idea. But one thing, power is there. Yes, power is there. +1, -1 concepts is sufficient. That way you can get this one done, which also in our all of this concept video and in our class assignment we have given similar
Right.
kind of questions
Right.
it has had.
Moreover, the idea about the sections is it was almost the same, which I also talked about it. We had made some predictions around that, which mostly landed. My predictions around the VARC were surprisingly quite on point. I believe that this year would be a VARC make or break section. So VARC is the most critical. The passages were difficult. This might again cause a considerable loss of accuracy with the students, because I haven't seen the questions yet, so I don't know what the level of deception of the paper is. But if the comprehension has become more difficult, then the deceptive nature of the first section should also be more difficult. So that is the one section which is going to be make or break this year. LR and DI once seems like they would be manageable. Of course.
Now I want to make another discussion which is very important, that let's say for cracking IIM level.
Right, yes.
If it is at the level of 99 plus percentile,
Mhm.
so in compared to the last year, number of questions, how many it would be more, which would be right. If I try to consider,
Yes, in the case of VRC.
This is VRC should come down.
VRC
it would be at the
ideally,
level of
yes,
2, 3.
agreed, sir. So VRC, the
expect?
number of expected attempt rate should reduce. Quants and DI and LR and DI and quants, it should increase.
So VRC, how many it should reduce?
I believe that it would be about half the jump, because I have not heard extreme difficulty the way 22 to 23 quants had jumped. I've not heard of that level of jump, but it's still a jump. So I believe that it will go up. It'll increase or reduce to around 12. So 99th percentile.
You also discuss about this
12.
math part, then I'm coming here.
No need to join again.
Right. So I think that's where it would be.
Hello.
LR and DI, it should reduce or it should increase a little bit, because if 3 sets are being done, so if it is 5 and 4 and 3, then that's still a higher number. So that
Fine.
quants.
So that's all for today for slot 2. So we'll be back for slot 3 analysis. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
All the best.
Bye.
And we'll see.
If you have any queries, do write us back.
And also, if you've seen this video, please do like it. Please do share if you can. All the good, good viewer stuff, watcher stuff. Because just if we can catch some students before the shift 3 begins, then we may this might make a difference. The algorithm works in the way that the more a video gets attention, the more it is shared with people. So it's a kind of a no-brainer. But anyways, what to do? So if you can, please do your part. And we'll see you for the third shift. All the best. And